The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Welcome to the Jesse Blake Sports Report. Whether this is your first time here, your last time here, or somewhere in between, I appreciate that you're here right now so that we can talk about tonight's Toronto Blue Jays game where the crowd booed, Ohtani hit a home run, and Kiner Falefa hit the mound. It was a terrible experience all around. But before we get to all of that, I need to tell you about nordvpn.com/Blake, the place you should be going to get 4 months free of NordVPN. And I use NordVPN in my life. And one specific place I use NordVPN is when the Ottawa Senators are playing, and it is an Ottawa Senators regional game. Now, it is not often that I tune into like a Sens against Florida Panthers game, but occasionally I do. And I am not able to watch a regional Sens game because I live in an area that is blacked out from regional Sens action. And if I want to watch those games, I got a little thing called NordVPN on my browser, and I use it, and I am no longer where I am. And I use that to watch blacked out games. If that's the reason I use it, but you can also use it for things like privacy when you're on a public Wi-Fi. It is very helpful. It will protect you from anybody who's trying to attack your computer and hack your Wi-Fi and all that evil things that evil people do. It will protect you, and it is a must-have. So go to nordvpn.com/Blake, sign up for the offer that's there, and get 4 months free. Find the link in the description. Now, to what we need to talk about today. Tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays were absolutely embarrassed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. And in this game, Shohei Ohtani made his first appearance at the Rogers Center since this offseason, where he visited the Toronto Blue Jays in Dunedin, was interested in possibly signing with the Blue Jays based on that appearance. He was in a whole bunch of rumors by somebody by the name of John Morosi, who may have tweeted out that Shohei Ohtani was on his way to Toronto when he was fully not on his way to Toronto after that whole saga this offseason where it looked like there was a chance the Jays could sign him, and then he did not sign with the Jays, and he instead signed with the Dodgers. This was his first appearance back at the Rogers Center since then. And what did we do tonight as Jays fans? We booed him. And I don't understand that mentality. If you think it's okay, if it makes sense to boo him, let me know, like on Twitter or in the comments right now if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you interact with the show, or on Discord. We have a Discord server. Go to sdpn.ca, join us there on Discord. I don't understand the mentality that goes into a fan and says, you didn't sign with us, so I'm going to boo you. Like, I would understand if there was any slander that came from Shohei Ohtani and his camp towards the Toronto Blue Jays. But he did the courtesy of meeting with us. And the only things that gave us any indication that he might even sign here were false reports from the media. I don't understand why this guy is the enemy of the team for not signing here. And I'm not here to tut fans and be like, you shouldn't boo. I think you can boo whoever you want. I just don't get the logic behind the booing this time. And I'm looking for explanations, and I'm saying I wouldn't personally do it. If I was in the Rogers Center tonight, which I didn't have the privilege of being there tonight, which that's okay. I love going to Blue Jays games, and I wasn't there tonight. So if I was there, I would have been like, hey, guys, chill a little. He did nothing wrong in this instance. It doesn't make sense to boo him. Boo the guys who deserve to be booed. And right now, if you're going to boo anybody, boo the guys who allowed 12 runs. Like, no game is good when Kiner Falefa gets to the mound by the ninth inning, when you were so blown out that the rule is activated that you can use a position player to pitch. Like, that's how bad it was. And for the Jays, it started early. It was Chris Bassett's numbers against lefties. Lefties against him average a .389 batting average. They have 5 home runs. Their on-base percentage is .500. Every time a left-handed hitter comes to the plate and faces Chris Bassett, there is a 50-50 chance that they will reach base successfully. You cannot win a baseball game when the other team and the Dodgers loaded up their lineup with lefties today. They have a whole bunch of lefties and they're all loaded up. When the opposing team has a 50-50 shot of getting on base, you cannot win a baseball game. And on top of all that stuff, on top of Chris Bassett has an inability to pitch to lefties, nobody can still hit. Nobody can still hit on this team. The Blue Jays are on the verge of setting a record. The Blue Jays are on the verge of setting the all-time Jays record for longest streak of scoring 5 or fewer runs. Currently, their streak is 18 consecutive games with tonight. That is 18 games. Through this weekend, we could get to Monday, Saturday, and Sunday. They could hit 20 consecutive games without scoring more than 5 runs. And that would tie the franchise record. And then going into next week, they could set the all-time franchise record. And if you see the year that they set the record with 20 straight games played with 5 or fewer runs was 2008. I'm going to pull up their record right now just to show you what that year was like. The 2008 Toronto Blue Jays finished the season 86-76, 4th in the AL East. They were coached by John Gibbons and Cito Gaston. John Gibbons was fired midway through that year. And that's when Cito Gaston came in. And when Cito Gaston came in, they went 51-37. But that team, amidst that awful stretch, fired John Gibbons, who was 35-39 at the time. Those were the days of Adam Lind and Vernon Wells and Alex Rios and Lyle Overbay. Roy Halladay, AJ Burnett, Jesse Lynch, Sean Markham, Dustin McGowan, and David Percy were the pitchers that made starts for the team that year. I got my Travis Snyder jersey. Travis Snyder as well was on that 2008 Toronto Blue Jays team. I have his jersey in my hand for anybody listening on audio. You're watching on video. You can see my 2008 Travis Snyder jersey. And those were dark times for the Jays. Like, we were in a period where we hadn't made the playoffs since 1993, and that streak continued through all of those years. And I don't want to be in a dark period again with these Toronto Blue Jays. We have playoff expectations, and this team is playing very poorly all around. And through this stretch, they've gone 9-9, which feels like a miracle when you can't score runs, but it's a credit to the pitching staff holding it together. And we're just, every day we keep going. We're like, is today the day the bats get fired up? Is tomorrow the day the bats get fired up? And we're just going to keep waiting for the bats to get fired up. And if that day doesn't come, it's going to be a dark year for the Toronto Blue Jays, like it was for that 2008 squad, who managed to get 86 wins, which wasn't good enough for the playoffs. We'll see where this team ends up, but every day is just another hope for the bats to get going. And when you don't get the pitching and you're not going to get the run support, you're not going to win games. And I don't think you should boo Ohtani. I don't think you should really boo the Jays, but they're not giving you much to cheer for right now. And that is very, very not good. So that is it for me tonight. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here right now watching this, and I appreciate you for that. Good night from Toronto.
And that is how it's done.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Jesse Blake, the guy that likes to hear his name twice in one sentence. Sure, I know him. No, he doesn't have an ego at all.